Hey guys, Gamer Charizard here, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, or welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be showing you 5 must-have mods I have currently in my game which change how the game visibly looks. Now, I want to quickly say right here is that always make sure to back up your save files, because whenever you install mods, overrides or custom content, there is the possibility of corruption of files as well as crashes of games or games not loading at all because they are conflicting with another mod. So always make sure that you always back up your save files to keep your precious sims and builds and gameplay safe, as well as always making sure to read the descriptions thoroughly for every single mod or custom content or override that you install to make sure they are correctly popped in and have every single thing that they are required to do so to make sure they run smoothly in game. So without that out the way, let us jump into the browser and I'll show you the first of the 5 mods that I recommend today. So the first mod that I recommend is actually the dark mode UI for The Sims 4, which is quite self-explanatory in the name, is that it turns all the harsh white backgrounds into a nice dark mode version of the game, and honestly I actually really prefer it. It's a lot more pleasing and easy on the eyes and just makes it more fun to play because then I'm not constantly getting that glare back. This is by the amazing, I don't want to butcher your name so I'm not going to try it, but I highly appreciate the mod, so thank you very much. So this is actually on Mod The Sims, so all you need to do is make sure after you've read the description you go over to the downloads tab and make sure that you always install the newest version, which is this one just at the top. Hit download and it will simply download it immediately to your downloads folder. Now this mod has an optional extra addition, and that is if you use the UI cheats extension mod, then you will want to grab this file as well. If you do not have UI cheats extension, you don't need it, but if you install it in the future, please come back and install this. It's just that way that you won't get any sort of mislooking UI when you install both of these versions. So if we pop over to the downloads folder, now in the top hand right side of your screen right now, I'll have a link in the top right hand side of the screen right now so that you'll be able to watch a video where I explain how to install mods completely. That way you can know what the 7-zip is and how to zip and unzip files, because I won't be going into that today. But I do say whenever I unzip several files at once, I always extract them to a folder, so that way it's a lot easier to find the mod itself. So this here is the main mod. So if we go into here, we can actually cut that out and pop it back into here because they actually come into a folder itself. Get rid of the old one. So this here is the files that you will need, and all you need to do is, if you only have this one, you need to simply drag and drop this into your mods folder, or you could put it into another folder as well, which I'll show you once we go in there. But if you have to have this extra one, obviously because you have the UI cheats extension, simply cut this one out, go back into the main folder and just simply paste it here, replace the 4 files, and now that is ready to go. And if you do not have a custom loading screen, you can leave this one in, but if not, I highly recommend just deleting that one just so it won't conflict with anything else. If you do have a custom one in, you can get rid of this folder, you don't need that anymore. Then we'll simply just cut this. We'll go to our mods folder and you can paste it directly in here, but I actually have it in a dark UI and custom font folder just there, and it runs absolutely fine, no problems at all. There are no script files, so you don't need to worry about them being in an extra folder. It will not stop them from working because they are all package files. So that is the dark UI mod, and that is now popped into my game, so we'll have a look at that when we get to the point at the end of the video. The second mod we're going to look at today is the Sims 1 and Sims 2 font replacements by The Pancake and Mora's Yuki on Patreon. This is free to download for everybody, but I actually do prefer using Patreon because it's a lot easy to access and easy to download. Now, as you can see at the top of the screen right here, it does say you are only allowed 1 font replacement, and that is because this is an override, as well as the dark UI mod is also an override, which means you can only have 1 of these in at one time. If not, they will crash your game or not allow it to start. So please make sure, as I say, to read the description so you're aware of this. Now this here is some screenshots of the font for Sims 1. And I actually have the font for Sims 2 installed in my game, and all you need to do is simply click down here. It will immediately download the file, go back to your downloads folder, and there it is. Simply cut and then you can paste it directly into your mods folder. But as I say, I actually have it already in here, and that will run no problem at all. Whenever I have my mods folder, I always try to organize it so that it's a lot easier to find certain mods. So when you need to update Little Miss Sam's, they're all in packages ready to go, so I can just make sure to delete the right one and install the new one without having to hunt through several files. And that is why currently I'm not using CurseForge, because I don't really like that it pastes them all like this. So this is why I'm doing it this way. But obviously everyone is different, but just do however you like, and once obviously they're in there, they won't be in your downloads folder anymore. The next one we're actually going to go over is map replacements. I'm currently using the map replacements by 20th Century Plumbob. I used to use some other creators, but they currently aren't updating theirs anymore, so I have left them for now, and I might go back and have a look. Now, they actually have updated a lot of the maps, pretty much all of them to date so far, and they're still adding in new versions. Like they've got a new Samai Shino map, they've got one at night, one during the day, Moonwood Mill, one during the night, one during the day. Some of these are locked behind Patreon only, but they do become public after a certain time, so please keep that in mind. And yeah, so all you need to do is, for say we're going to download the Willow Creek one today, you go and click on the file and then just simply hit this package right here. It'll download it immediately into your downloads folder. Cut that out, and then you can download it directly into here. If not, what I tend to do is just make a map overrides folder and paste them all in there. And as you can see, I have every single one apart from a couple of the new ones because I'm not currently on Patreon with them at the moment, but I was at one point. So that is how you download map replacements. Now, obviously with map replacement, as it says in the name, this is an override. So please make sure you only have one file for each of the worlds at one time. Obviously they do have, say, 2 Moonwood Mill ones, but make sure you only have one. If not, they will clash with each other. The next one I'm going to be showing you guys today is the Sulani loading screen. So this is a custom loading screen. Now again, this is an override, so you can only have one installed at one time. But all you need to do is simply hit the downloads button and it will download a zip file with all of these different ones in. There are several different ones that you can actually install. There is all different kinds of custom loading screens, but always just make sure you only have the one file installed. We'll extract this into a folder so it's a lot easier to find all the files, and here we go. So if we actually have a look, these are all the different ones that come with this one, but I actually use this one right here. So you just copy this one, cut that, paste it straight into here. If not, I have them in my own little folder here. The last one we're going to be looking at today is custom cast rooms, and again, this is an override, so you need to make sure you only have one installed at one time. There are several creators that have all kinds of different ones. I quite like this one with the mirror and the dresser to make it look like they're getting changed in their bedroom. There are like ones that are just plain pastel colors or other sort of really interesting things. Now with this one, there isn't really pictures to show you which one you kind of get. There is a slight description of how they kind of made it in the background, and there is also a way that you can color it yourself and change it up. All I did was download this file just here, and it will give you a folder with the different versions in. Now with this one, I highly recommend you can either use the one I use, which you'll see once we go into the game. If not, you can have a look at different ones and choose which one is better suited for you. So in here there is different styles right here. I actually use, I believe, style E, which I will just double check for you guys. Sorry, I use style F. So I think the best thing with this mod is if you just sort of choose one, pop it in your game, see which one you kind of like the best, and then just go with that one. But just make sure you don't put all of these files in at one time, only one, because if not, it won't work. Now, when you download a cast override, you need to make sure that you actually have a blip/shadow remover. If not, you'll have this weird like blue circle at the Sim's feet. So just make sure you hit this is from Urban Sims, so just hit this one here with the no addy fly, and then it will download the file immediately. And just like all the other files, you just need to simply extract the file and pop this one directly in your mods folder, if not in a subfolder. And that is all the mods today. So what I'm going to do now is hop over into game and show you all these mods in action. Okay, so welcome back. We are now in The Sims 4 and immediately you'll be able to see that the dark UI is installed correctly, and also so is the override font from The Sims 2 as well. Now unless you do a side-by-side comparison of the fonts, you probably won't really tell the difference too much, but I thoroughly enjoy having it in. It makes it a lot easier to read certain things and also a bit fun as well. Now I'm going to first show you all the custom maps that I currently have installed in my game by 20th Century Plumbobs, and then we'll go into cast and you'll be able to see the cast room that we installed. Then we'll have a look at the loading screen, and then finally we'll end in game so that you can see the UI in full works. So if we pop over to Willow Creek, I currently have sort of different names, so I'm probably going to forget what they're called, but this here is the Willow Creek map. It's very beautiful, very lush and green. It also just makes everything look a lot better. I'm not really going to go into everything too much because obviously it's quite self-explanatory what these maps look like, but they are just absolutely gorgeous. So here is Oasis Springs. Now there is actually some grassy areas and it just makes it look really, really nice, and I think it really makes it like pop out in certain districts of this place. And then we go over to Newcrest, and this map is insane. Like the override of this map makes it look so much more alive than the actual place is. Obviously I have all of the lots got buildings on, but it actually just brings in more areas. Like it makes all these buildings around here, so it just makes it look more busy rather than just an empty space. Then we go to promenade area, so it just makes it look a bit more busy in the area at the back, but also it's just the details of like the pavement and everything just makes it look more alive. And then we go over to Windberg. You've even got our little friend over here, and again it just brightens up the world and makes sure all of like the trees and that are in there to make it more alive. This here is actually a lot that's clipped out at the end there, so that's nothing to do with the map override. And then we'll go over to San Myshuno. I'm trying to remember the names as I'm talking. That's the problem I'm having right now. I've actually got the dark mode in because I absolutely love like the contrast of the lights in the background, but there is another version as well during the day where like I don't think the background is as blurred out it is in this one, but I prefer it for myself, so this is the one I currently have installed. And then we come over to where all the vampires are, and it's a lot more dark, a lot more gloomy, but I really like that. I think it makes it look really cool. So this one, I'm not sure if I have or haven't installed it because it doesn't look... Definitely got this one installed. Very bright, very vibrant, and makes everything stand out a lot better, as well as making all the hills look really cool and all the background areas. So very, very beautiful. Strangerville, very orange, very bright, very saturated, which obviously is really nice because it's obviously in a desert area. I think there is another version of this as well where you could possibly have like the danger cloud in the background, but I've just gone with a normal version because in most of my games I have already completed the Strangerville mystery. Then we go over to Sulani, and Sulani is gorgeous. This is one of my favorite worlds. Not favourite packs, because I think the expansion pack was not great at all. Unfortunately, they could have done so much more with it and they didn't. But the world, cannot deny that all the money went into the world. It is absolutely gorgeous. And this map override, I think I might keep this one because beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Then we got Glimmerbrook, which I absolutely love the aurora coming off like the sun, and it's really gorgeous. The saturation is just perfect and the buildings really stand out, which is nice, but it's just really, really bright and beautiful with like a sort of sunsetty kind of glow. Then we come over to Brightchester. Now Brightchester, I really like sort of this side over here. I'm not too keen on this area here because it's a bit too bright for me. I went with the less saturated one as well, but I have to say that it still looks absolutely gorgeous. Obviously, don't get me wrong, I cannot say anything bad about it. It's just for my personal preference, it's a bit too bright for me, but I really do love this map. It is very, very pretty. Then we go over to Evergreen Harbour. Now this is really, really pretty. I really like this one quite well. I love how like this area really like stands out for me whenever I look. This whole area down here. Obviously like the carbon footprint is green, but it really stands out for me a lot, and I really, really like this one. And then we go to Mount Conorebi, and wow, just the whites really, really pop out and stand out. But then when you look down, obviously you can see all the nice lush green areas, and it just looks very busy but very, very, very pretty. Hanford on Bagley is probably one of my favorites as well. The green lush areas around the top with the waterfalls just look absolutely gorgeous, and obviously it's a bit less around here, which makes more sense because there's a town, and I just think it's actually one of the best ones of all of them as well. Then we obviously have the honeymoon vacation area, and of course this is very beautiful. I love the sunset vibe with like the nice oranges. I think it makes it look very romantic and very nice. Then we have Moonwood Mill. I have the night version, not the new day version as I mentioned, but I prefer the night version at the moment because I just think it looks so beautiful at night, and obviously being werewolves and moons and full moons, I just think it's more fitting to have it during the night. And I just love, even though they're obviously not fully detailed, but I love the trees and how they sort of disappear into the background but still look absolutely amazing. And finally we have Copperdale with its luscious blues and greens, and really makes the contrast stand out really, really nice. The nice sunshine in the background, the nice lukey greeny water around here is very pretty, and I actually really like this one as well. But I think one of my favorites is probably gonna be Sulani and also Hanford on Bagley, just because I love the greenness of this world and how bright and vibrant it is. And then I love, obviously, this is my favorite world anyway. One of my favorite worlds from The Sims 3 was Sunset Valley, I think it was, like the custom world thing that you had to download. I really like that one. But yeah, so that is the mod replacements. Okay, and here you go. So this is the custom loading screen that I installed. You can now see it looking absolutely amazing. I don't know why, but I just really, really like this one. I think it's because Sulani is one of my favourite worlds, though I don't play in it often. But yeah, so that is that installed, and you can also see the custom font has also changed on there as well. Right now we're in CAS, and you can immediately see the new CAS background. This is style F that I currently have installed at the moment, as well as the plump and shadow remover has not got that blue circle around her feet, so that's also installed, so we can enjoy this CAS background to its full potential. Okay, so now we're actually in the game itself, and as you can see the dark UI fully. And what I absolutely love about this is when you actually click on a sim or anywhere in the world, it comes up with black boxes with white text, and also goes green when you hover over them. Now with someone who has a lot of mods in their game with a lot of interactions, it's really nice to not have that white glare in my face all the time, and I find it a lot easier to read, especially with the font replacement as well, making it a lot more clearer and just making it more funky and really cool. Obviously you see that a lot more when you have pop-ups and what have you, and obviously you have different, like here is a lot less in your face with the white. Some things remain basically the same in a way because I can't change too much, and obviously if you have the UI cheats that might also be a reason why mine's a bit different to yours. But I also love how like this goes red, blue, green, yellow and orange. I don't even know if that was a thing before, but I never noticed it because obviously it was all white and just kind of didn't really look down there too much, just kind of just press the buttons. And that is everything that I have to show you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video and that these helped you out and that you enjoy these mods or overrides. And I hope to catch you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. Like the video if you liked it. Otherwise, have a good day. Bye!